ClassicGameRoom.com.
Welcome to Classic Game Room, broadcasting from space. Maybe you've read the manga or seen the anime, but you probably haven't played the video game. This is APPLESEED on the Super Famicom. I think that APPLESEED from Shiro Masamune is one of the greatest comic books ever from the early 90s. Actually, I think the first one was late 80s. The talented artist and writer created another world with these great characters who are part of ESWAT, Dunin, and Briarios. And they blow things up with terrific artwork and clever dialogue. Well, I should have known by now. I should have learned a lesson in my life at this point, not to play a game based on a comic book or movie that I love and expect it to be anywhere near as good. Well, I went out of my way to import this game from Japan and play it on our Super Famicom, expecting it to be at least interesting and capture some of the spirit and action of APPLESEED, but I'm almost as disappointed in this game as I am in Shiro Masamune himself for just abandoning these great comics and drawing softcore porn posters. Anyway, that's a discussion for another time, but many of you should know him as the creator of Ghost in the Shell, Orion, Tank Police, and a lot of other great manga and anime. Or at least anime based on manga, and some video games like Ghost in the Shell, which are really good. But back to this game, which looks as bland and generic as possible, and the visuals don't lie, that's how it plays too. It's really not very good. Alright, it's an elevator level where you have to shoot a bunch of switches that deactivate force fields or something, and shoot some annoying bad guys. I like that they were too lazy or incompetent to even put a health bar on screen. Or a score, why bother? You just play until you eventually get frustrated and quit, or your character starts blinking red and finally dies, freeing you from this horrible monotony. And what's up with the music? I'm disappointed because APPLESEED on the Super Famicom could have been so much better. This plays like a bad NES game. Like a bad licensed NES game, like Total Recall. Watch my review of that. They're somewhat similar. After wading through the extremely dull elevator level, which took like 20 minutes, that felt like 3 years, you're greeted with a boss battle. Nothing out of the ordinary for this kind of game, except it's not the boss you'll have to worry about, it's the sloppy controls that prevent you from jumping. Nothing about APPLESEED was made well. Nothing. It's just terrible. You can play as Dunin or Briarios, but there's really no difference between the two. So, what's the use? You're not going to play this game anyway, because you don't want to. My pain is your gain. Spend your money on something else, or read the APPLESEED manga. They're terrific. Now, I also picked up the Japanese APPLESEED game for the PlayStation 2, but haven't played it yet. I'm really hoping it's better than this. You'll have to go out of your way to find it, but APPLESEED on the Super Famicom is only for those who like sluggish, clunky, quirky side-scrollers, or for serious Super Famicom and APPLESEED collectors. Everyone else should just enjoy this video and move on with your life. If you're interested, check out the APPLESEED comics. They're great. In fact, I think I have to encourage you to do that because I don't want this to be the only image of APPLESEED that you're familiar with. Because this game does not do the franchise justice. If you like giant robots crushing things, mechs, explosions, and a good storyline, you'll want to read APPLESEED, but avoid this game like the plague.